according to Casey, that what do you think about Miami fans, having unrealistic expectations about bringing in Lane Kiffin as head coach, and which, to me, will let you take it on from there. Sark as an offensive coordinator, well, just knowing obviously his employment status, that would be ridiculous for anyone to be thinking in that direction.
Yeah, I don't think that it's unrealistic at all. The expectation that Miami go get a proven coach. If you've been reading any of the reports out there about the AD search and the potential coaching search, because even as we sit here now on Thanksgiving Eve, the Miami coaching job is occupied by, Manny Diaz. I don't believe that that's going to continue to be the case, but currently it is. I don't think that it's unrealistic at all. There's been lots of talk that Miami has money to spend and, towards getting a proven coach and a coaching staff that would support that individual to the standard of excellence that, they desire, so no real budget coaches, like going out and paying people, to build a proper staff. The money's there. That's been reported multiple times. And I've been trying to tell y'all that for years. Just because Miami has chosen not to spend that money does not mean that the money does not exist. You know what I mean? So there's that. And keeping things the same is going to give you the same result. So things need to change to improve the result. And it's really incumbent upon the power brokers at Miami to make the right choice in terms of athletic director, whether that be Tom Jurich, who apparently is the clubhouse leader right now, former Louisville AD, lives in Tampa, really would like this job. From all reports, whether they go in a different direction than Mr. Jurich. We've talked about John Square, who's an associate AD, former defensive end at Miami, played. He was on the 2001 team, but he was a freshman redshirt, I believe. Because, I want to say John Square was a year after me in school. But he's a guy who has administration experience. JP wrote about Mac Rhodes from Baylor. As one, Brian White from FAU, it has been mentioned before. So I don't think that it's crazy to go and get the kind of leader that you want to have in terms of athletic director, and then the athletic director making the choice to bring in somebody with a name, and Mario Cristobal is completely in play. I know that people want to say that he would never leave Oregon, but y'all said that about so many coaches. Chip left Oregon. You figured he was going to be there forever. Okay, it was the NFL. Yeah, okay, fine. Willie Taggart left Oregon. That was supposed to be a career job for him, right? He left. Well, he's from Bradenton, and he's a Florida State fan. Yeah. But if you have that program and you try to say that it is unassailable in all these different kind of ways, and you cannot get a coach up off of that job, that's been proven verifiably false. So you have that. Lane Kiffin, completely in play, on board. Not saying that, we're going to get one or the other, but it's entirely possible. And I don't think that it's unrealistic to do that. And again, you have the advantages built into playing an ACC Coastal are there. If Lane's looking to win in a big kind of a way, right? The ceiling there has to be 10-2. You know what I mean? You got to go. Jimbo is bossing up in recruiting. You got Alabama, LSU. I know that they're down, but that's the school in that state, and they never miss on those guys. They got more talent than you can shake a stick at. A&M is going up. I haven't even mentioned Alabama. Auburn is in there. You got Texas coming in and Oklahoma to compete with as well.
Everybody's good in the entire division.
The worst in the entire SEC West.
Even Mississippi State or Arkansas are the worst teams in their top 25 teams.
Exactly. You have the cycle now where LSU is down a little bit, but you could make the case.
Yeah.
That that's the one. But you're usually going to have, 6 of those teams be ranked teams every year, including Ole Miss with Lane, but like you have all of that, and then you have Miami and Carolina probably, and not much else in this division. You know what I mean? Like there is a clear path forward. There's a clear path towards some real accolades, some real top level performance for any coach that were to come here. Not even to mention with Lane and Mario specifically, because those are the two at the top. We all know them to be tireless and very good recruiters. Now you put them here wearing this logo. I don't know if you see it, but there we go. Wearing the U logo when they go into somebody's house. It matters. It does. So it's not crazy for the fans to have the expectation that the administration does what needs to be done. Not trying to find the next, 500 coach that's going to take, that you have the crystal ball, that you're taking the leap with them. There's no Jimmy Johnsons out there, who are 25, 23, and 3 coming from Oklahoma State. Then they come down here, and then when they come to Coral Gables, that is the thing that just transforms them into this Hall of Fame coach. Miami's tried that route. It's not working. And it's really hard because it's the same thing like with recruiting, where you cannot build your roster out of 3 stars and hope that everybody has the transformational development process of a David Njoku or a Gregory Rousseau. It's not going to happen. Not widespread. Now, it can happen in individual instances, but it's not going to happen consistently. We've seen that in terms of the coaching prospects or the coaching, the head coaches at Miami as well. So, no, it's not unexpected or unreasonable for Miami and the fans to have the expectation that we get in a competent, high-level athletic administrator in terms of the AD, bring in somebody. I mean, Alonzo Highsmith has been an NFL executive for 10, 15 years and is openly talked about coming back to Miami to take over the director of football operations role, basically between the AD and the head coach, and then to help drive the program forward in that way. That's a thing that can clearly happen. Barry Jackson just wrote about that's a thing that he was prepared to do, but apparently Blake James didn't have the foresight and said that he would do some very low-level cosmetic things to improve the program when asked what he would do. And it was like, oh, no, give me a real answer. It's like, no, that's the real answer. It's like, so lipstick on a pig and that's going to change everything? Really? Okay. But it's not unreasonable for Miami to expect that you get a top-level AD, you go and get a proven coach, not an up-and-coming coach, not a, 1 year on the job or 13 days like Manny coming from Temple. And then I know Manny means well, and he's a great person, and it's foul, and that's debatable, whatever. I have no problem with him as a person, but he doesn't have the reps behind him. He doesn't have the experience to run this kind of a program. And that is what needs to change. And we've seen that clearly. The one time that Miami's gotten a proven coach was Mark Richt, and he was on the downslope of his career. And he still came in and won 9 games and 10 games back to back, had us number 2 in the country, 60 minutes of football away from the college football, pretty much away from the college football playoff, because you have an undefeated team going up against Clemson in the ACC championship game. You have a close game there. It was reasonable to think like you're pretty on the cusp there. And that's the one coach that Miami's gotten who's been proven. The one. And he was on the downslope. Think what you could do with somebody who's in the middle of their career and potentially still at that level or improving their performance as a coach. That is the expectation, and it is not unreasonable. If it does not come to fruition, that is one thing, but it's not unreasonable for us to have that expectation right now.
Yeah, I've stated this in various different types of ways. I would have guessed, I would have estimated we would be sitting here in 2021 with Mark Richt as the coach if we were having this conversation 4 years ago. But yeah, I think maybe now we know a little bit more about his situation personally and health-wise. Maybe that contributed to some of that as well, unfortunately.